Hey guys, on today's episode, we're going to take it from this to this. And the only things we're going to need today is going to be a pair of scissors and our Men's Shaving Club beard oil. That's going to be it. I said we get this video started. Here we go. What I'm going to show you today is another way that I trim my facial hair back from looking like a vagabond to being fantastic. What we're going to need today is a comb, a pair of scissors to cut your hair, our mitts, and its Allure beard oil so that we can oil and finalize our beard at the very end. The first area that we'll be working on is our sideburns. Then we'll move on to our mustache, where we will then move on to our cheeks, where we'll go to the bulb of our beard or our chin, and then we'll go ahead and finish off with the very bottom of our beard line, because we can't forget about the bottom of our beard line. If you saw our first video, you might remember me using these little tiny nose hair, kind of small hair scissors. Well, today we're going to be unleashing the big dogs, and we'll go section by section, step by step, until we have a beard that exudes confidence and manliness. Now, when beginning our sideburns, you're going to want to use your comb to separate your cheek from your sideburns, and this will make it easier to get more of an even and cleaner look for your beard. Then what you're going to want to do is pick up the shortest length that you want to cut at the very top of your sideburn, and then trim less and less down that comb to try to make half of an isosceles triangle. Bet you didn't think you were going to use geometry today, huh? Well, as long as you have a nice and even looking slope, you'll be fine. Remember, the only thing to be concerned about right now is to try and not create an uneven line, which will make your beard look kind of concave, so don't do that. Continue until you have a nice gradient happening from the short hairs at the top of your sideburns to the longest hairs going down all the way to the bottom of your sideburns. This may also take a couple passes, but make sure that you stick to our plan and that you're satisfied with your results before moving on. Next, we're going to take our first pass at cleaning up our walrus mustache, which, it isn't bad if that's your style, but as for me, I personally like to eat wings, burgers, pastas, so I like to keep this area of my beard nice and tight so that I don't get it everywhere. This is also where using those little scissors from that first video can really come in handy. But what I'm going to do today is stick with the pair that we started out with. Now what we're going to want to achieve is an even line right above our upper lip. And that may require a few passes too, just depending on the length that your hair has grown since the last time you trimmed, if you even trimmed it at all. Now at our mustache, what we're going to want to try to do is keep the hairs all at the same length, as to make it look tighter and less wispy. Take this philosophy over to the lower handlebars of our mustache, but you can begin cutting less and less here, similarly to how we trimmed our sideburns just right now. This also gives us a good starting point to begin shaping out our chin and our lower beard, but we'll get there soon enough. Continue with this step until you're satisfied. Now once we feel comfortable with the way that our mustache looks, which can also be corrected later on, what we're going to do is move on to our cheeks. Now I like to treat this section almost like I do my sideburns. But instead of a comb, what I like to do, I like to use my mitts. And yes, I do mean my hands. Using my hands allows me to make sure that all the hairs in each section of my beard get trimmed to the appropriate length. And well, it's easier to do it like this instead of having to go, piece by piece, section by section with a comb. I did it that way earlier on, and I got kind of confused pretty fast. So, it's like Mando said, this is the way. But in all seriousness, treat the hairs that lie just between our fingers as the sections we would have if we had went section by section with a comb. This also allows you to make sure that the upper, mid, and lower hemispheres of your beard have a uniform fade going on the whole way through. You don't want any extra length kind of be sticking out. What you're going to want to do is start with the shorter length by the top of your fingertips, and again gradually decrease the amount you cut until you get to about your knuckle area. Do this a few times to ensure that you get a good fade throughout your beard. Keep on brushing it up and down like this too, just to keep on getting it through. Once you've reached a good all-around beard length for your cheek area, what we're going to do is move on to our chin. And we're going to use that same technique we just used for our cheeks and our sideburns. However, the only difference is that we can use the lower handlebar mustache length as a starting point, where we then cut less and less as we go lower down our chin. Remember, we can always clean it up a bit more after we brush it all out. Until then, just focus on getting that, gradual fade to be as close and as even as you can make it. Feel free to take your time getting it to the way that you like. You really don't want to mess this section up. We then move on to evening out the bottom of our beard. And personally, I like to increase the length of my beard to max out right here at the bottom of my chin and start it just a little bit higher. And I found that the easiest way to achieving that has been to use the back of my hand, which allows for me to clearly see any hairs that lie beyond my beard, as well as better visualizing my beard line, before I start cutting, of course. At this point, take a look at your beard and correct any sections that may need, a little extra love and care. I like to live by the philosophy that if it looks like a sore thumb, chances are you got a sore thumb there. So keep on trimming until it looks good. These sections, if brushed up or pinched, can also be taken back and cut properly. Remember, we're almost to the finish line. So after our beard has a uniform look to them, it's time to brush out any extra clippings and oil this bad mamma jamma up. And we do that today and every day with It's Allure Beard Oil by the Men's Shaving Club. But that's only because the sweet, sweet nectar of It's Allure Beard Oil not only has the scent that your partners can't resist, but natural hydration enriches your beard, which dramatically hinders beard itch, irritation, and while also adding an extra shimmering confidence that leaves others speechless. Just call my beard Chernobyl. Is this radiating like a... I hope you've enjoyed today's video and that you're closer to understanding how to achieve a flawless beard every time. Remember, a flawless shave can only be achieved with products that allow you to achieve perfection. So go over to mscmercantile.com right now, or hit the links at the bottom of the description to purchase or re-up on your shaving kit's ace in the hole with the It's Allure collection today. Isn't it time you became all you are?